So if you were to just flash back a year, we had an extraordinary market. We described it as a perfect storm, where you had extremely positive fundamentals about the sector, digital media sector writ large. So scale, growth, addressability, all kinds of really positive industry fundamentals, coupled with some exogenous macro factors, very positive, super low interest rates, basically cheap money. You had massive government stimulus in the form of sort of COVID subsidies. And so it created an environment which produced a perfect storm, where markets were at all-time highs and, quite frankly, on an objective basis, indefensible sort of absolute valuation levels. Enormous activity in terms of private investment, public IPOs, and of course the trading values of those stocks. We even saw SPACs in this space, 5 or 6 SPACs in the sector. So it was everything hitting on all cylinders. This year, all the industry fundamentals are the same. They're all positive, still growing. In fact, digital media ad spend is projected to grow like $40 billion this year. Now, you know, if we hit a recession, that may slow it slightly, but the fundamental trends are all moving in the right direction from an industry standpoint. Obviously, now the exogenous impacts are negative. We've got rising interest rates. We've got a constricting, potentially, economy here. So not all of that benefit, and of course we're coming off that COVID subsidies were, you know, those are no longer continuing. So the exogenous impacts are negative. Those macro impacts are definitely negative, and you can see it in the stock price. It's coupled with a massive tech sell-off. But again, this is an industry that has faced trouble before, numerous times, and it has demonstrated the kind of agility and sustainability to be able to adapt and keep going. So long as the core fundamentals remain solid, we should be feeling good about the future.
Terry, a couple of quick things. You talked about TV and live and sports and sort of the plateau of the streaming services. What's going on there?
Well, I think what we've seen is, an explosion of use of, consumption of TV in the OTT channels, known as CTV, and that's been great, and that continues to grow. It continues to be supply constrained, so it's well priced. It's going to be $20 billion this year and continuing to grow. And if Netflix launches their ad service, we'll see that actually inflect up substantially. So it's all good. All that we're seeing in terms of the turbulence in CTV is the maturation of the growth of subscriptions. I think it's a combination of the quality of the content, the pricing of the packages, and the competition. There's now so many subscription packages, and the average consumer is only going to subscribe to only a handful of those packages. And once you get past the wealthier demos on the coast and you get to the middle of the country, it's been obvious to many of us in the sector that this would have to move more towards ad-supported. All of that benefits the folks that are selling ads either through FAST or AVOD.
And Terry, big focus, big presentation about commerce today, and it's interesting that maybe 3 or 4 years ago at DMS, I'm sure commerce didn't loom as large in the agenda or the conversation. What's going on with commerce?
Yeah, well, I think it's a situation where because of the data deprecation and the privacy sensitivities and the regulation that we've seen has basically meant that there has been and there will be loss of signal from third-party sources, primarily the cookie. And that means that the only way to target and have an effective media capability is with first-party. And that means that's been a siren call to every company with large pools of first-party data that they can now operate ad networks. Amazon is the kingpin of this. They now have a $30 billion media business, but many others in retail that have those first-party relationships, that have a massive consumer pool, can now effectively launch a business that has margins that far exceed their commerce main business. So it's a huge opportunity for retail. Heck, it's an opportunity for travel companies, financial firms. There is television OEM manufacturers. There are a lot of companies launching effectively ad networks.